Hey everybody, before you watch the video, click subscribe. Would you please, pretty please? It would help us at Soul Boom so much. Click subscribe.
I actually like myself if I'm not thinking about myself all day. If I think about myself like 20 minutes a day, that's like the sweet spot. You know, I think so much of this anxiety and self-loathing is all we do is think about ourselves.
And that's one of the things about having a higher power, where I think that folks that have a higher power get a superpower, which is that there is something then in existence that is larger than themselves. And when I was higher powerless, I was the center of my world. My consciousness, my needs, my experiences, my feelings were my higher power, was my God. You know, selfishness, self-centeredness, that must be the root of our problem. So having a higher power for me was like, it's just like the Baron von Snow. It's like things were in their right order. Oh, there's me, there's little old weird me, and there's something really vast and powerful and mysterious there that I can be and surrender to. And in that act of surrender, I can actually find greater peace and actually greater power in myself by being in a right-sized kind of hierarchy. And I think that's part of the reason that 12 Steps works is that surrender piece.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, you want to get out alphaed by your higher power. Like that feeling when like
there's something
your
bigger
pig
than me.
or your dog or your horse or your kid can just relax because they know you're in control. Being in control is exhausting. Or thinking you're being in control is exhausting. That's where anxiety comes from. Should I be doing this? Should I be doing this? Should I call this person? Should I text this person? And when in program they said you're powerless over other people's behavior, I took a breath for the first. I had no idea that wasn't true.
Wow.
When you grow up in a home where you're trying to control people all the time, trying to make your parents get along, trying to get your, older brother to stop doing this or thinking this way or trying to get this. When you have this false sense of control, it blows your mind when you realize you never had false control and you don't have real control. So when they say you're powerless, I didn't understand what that meant because I spent all this time trying to get power over people, and trying to make them like me, trying to make them owe me, trying to make them care about me, trying to make them not abandon me by being so nice to them that they would feel guilty. It's like that's what I didn't realize about the people-pleasing stuff because I always thought I was just really nice. But what you're doing is you're trying to get someone to owe you. You're trying to get someone to like you so they won't leave. You're trying to trap them.
Get back onto the higher power though. So how does this work for you?
The higher power thing to me is
it's tricky.
So for me now, I'm big on I'm happy saying God, if you want to say higher power, that's fine too. To me, it's just, it can be oxygen. It can be science. It can be, I can't control what you're thinking of me. You can't control what you think of. You know what I mean? Like, it's just sort of the arrogance of thinking you can control anyone. And so God can kind of be neurology. It can be it can be whatever. I try not to overthink it too much.
Do you pray?
I do pray. I do pray. And
do you visualize something when you pray, or do you just kind of give kind of a yearning to the universe?
I do the metta practice pretty inconsistently.
I don't know what that is.
So my brain is hard to wrangle. I'm sure, and anyone watching this is of like, my brain will just go into autopilot of like, that was stupid. Why did you do that? Or you're falling behind. I mean, like those are my default thoughts. Default thoughts going back to an old resentment of like, I can't believe that person did that thing to you 20 years ago. You know what I mean? That agent that didn't, or you deserve to be on Grey's. Why aren't you on Grey's Anatomy? I mean, it's just like whatever. Just like this free flowing.
I'm so glad you're not on Grey's Anatomy.
Shitty.
Yeah.
But I would like to be asked.
Sure.
Shitty radio station of just negative thoughts, whether they're, and I can now kind of go like, that sounds like my mom, or like, that sounds like the kid that was rejected by my dad and had to come up with that narrative, or, whatever, blah, blah. And so I do, it's the metta practice is I forgive you, you forgive me, I forgive myself. So if someone comes up and it's like, Rainn Wilson didn't give me a hug when I left or whatever. Was that because you were weird, or should you, whatever that loop is. I'm also on Prozac, my true higher power. And that loop comes up and I'll just go, I forgive you, you forgive me, I forgive myself. That's kind of my default refrain now.
Nice.
I do, you send loving kindness to all the people that you have resentment towards. So I wake up in the morning and my brain, first thing when I wake up is, who do I need to protect myself against? Because our brains ultimately are just trying to survive, right? And our brains perceive threats, right? So I've got this person and this person that hurt me or hates me or tweeted about me or didn't give me that job or what is out to get me, whatever the things are, broke my heart or didn't like me back, whatever it is. And then I send them, may they be happy, may they be healthy, may they live easily. And I imagine the person.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
That really helps
It's very
me.
Tibetan Buddhist.
Oh, is it?
It's a prayer of the relief of compassion and relief of suffering for all living beings, all sentient beings.
And because when we're resentful towards someone, we're tethered to them. It's actually a very intimate connection. And then I imagine a cord being cut, which is something I learned in program, so that this person just doesn't run my entire day. Like I hope they're happy, healthy, live easily, and send love to anyone that I feel like maybe it happened during dreams or something, which by the way, sorry to bring up the weed thing again. I also think I didn't dream on weed. And if you're not dreaming, you're not like releasing, like kind of the subconscious catharsis and stuff that your brain needs to do stuff while you're asleep. And if you just put your brain into comatose land where you're not getting delta waves, I'm a neuroscientist.
That's why weed is like Hollywood. Kills your dreams.
Because praying is also like, whether you believe in God or don't believe in God, you are making neural pathways that are manifesting something that you want, and you'll keep thinking about that more, And so like I pray for myself to like take a contrary action or don't just do something, sit there. A lot of my prayers are ACA and Al-Anon adages. Don't go to the problem for the solution. If it's hysterical, it's historical. If it's hysterical, it's historical. It's we forgive others not because they deserve forgiveness, but because we deserve peace. I mean, even if these sound like platitudes, they're better to be making new neural pathways and strengthening than strengthening the I'm falling behind, I'm never going to make it, you haven't lived up to your potential, you're a piece of shit, you're aging, you know what I mean? Like it's just a contrary thought to try to keep those grooves deepening instead of strengthening those other thoughts.
Wow.
Is that prayer?
That is, yeah.
I know what that is.
I think it's it's that link between prayer and neurology. Neurology. Not neuropathy's a disease. It's great.
It's like thought wrangling, because I know that like I can go into kind of autopilot. I'm doing this thing and I'm doing this and but I have thoughts in the back of my head. And what's your inner monologue, your default inner monologue? My default inner monologue, I'm just trying to make, may they be happy, maybe they be healthy, I forgive you. A lot of it is self-forgiveness of like, forgive yourself for that. Rainn Wilson's not mad at you. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care. It's like we're obsessed with people think about us until we realize they're not thinking about us. But then there is this I remember when I first started getting a handle on these thoughts, like, what do you think about? Like my thoughts for so long was like, get her a drink and say this so that she doesn't get mad at you, and anticipating other people's needs and worrying about what other people think. And then when you get rid of those, there is like a void you have to fill, and you have to decide what you're going to refill it with, so you kind of have to write a new inner monologue, and mine's pretty repetitive at this point. But like, I just, I try to play music now. It's full Christian gospel. I love gospel music. To me, I mean, this is what church, a lot of what church was going and sort of getting high.
Singing with people.
Totally. So to me, sometimes we just put on a random play and it's Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande, and all of a sudden I'm like, that boy hurt my heart. We're programming our brains with everything we put in them. So I make these playlists of certain music so that, I'm kind of in a like trance with it.
Yeah.
Because if I play one song that like one Bon Iver song comes on and I'm like, I'm like, you have to know how sensitive you are to music. I put podcasts on. That to me is kind of a form of prayer and meditation. You have Rich Roll, he's on. And even if I only hear half of it, like this is a podcast I would put on and just have in the background when I'm cooking or something. Cause it's, sometimes it's hard to sit down and actually pray and actually meditate. But I think that you can do these moving meditations when you're doing mindless things.
The Soul Boom Podcast. Subscribe now on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you get your stupid podcasts.